Please, my people, just walk in like that. The noise is here.
I'm straight.
Hey guys, welcome to KalekyeMumoLiveAndUncut. As always, it's a pleasure to have you here where we discuss stories that can change people's perspectives and we also get to dispel a few misconceptions. Now, this show is always at the amazing Highlands Suites Apartments and we love this place because this time we have executive guests, so we brought them to our executive suites. As you can see, they are beautiful, they've got amazing spaces, and always remember there's so much more you can do while you're here, whether it's for short or long stay. You do want to check into the Highlands Suites. Now, today's topic is one that I don't know whether I should prepare you in advance because it's about yeah, my audience is for making you, you just need to be prepared. But we want to talk about misconceptions around sex and what we know of sex education, where we learned it and how we heard it. So I decided to call upon my tribe, my people, my girls, who we've had these amazing conversations with over and over again. And we felt that it's important that we share them with you and just try to dispel a few of these things. So I called upon Jane, who happens to be part of my tribe. She's a wife, she is a mother of teens, and on top of that, she is a professional career woman. Hello, my sister.
Yes.
You are in the house.
Yes.
I've described you back even you are not sure it's you. I'm describing. And then we have Wabi, who is my sister from another mother. And on top of that, she is a mother of a teen and a young adult. She's been married for 20 years, over 20 years, even me, I think it's over 20 years. And on top of that, she is an amazing business operations, a marketing person. She's branding, she's an educator, and she's a former peer counselor. Welcome, Wabi, as always. My sister. And then we have, we had to get someone serious. Okay, although we make just as much noise with her, so I feel nothing. And this is Dr. Tindi Kakuti. She is a consultant OBGYN with a passion for empowering women on reproductive health. And she has a joy of helping moms bring their bundles of joy into this world and busting myths that women here on sexual health, relationships, and reproductive health. This is what she does. And on top of that, I have a secret. She loves to travel. That one I know she loves. She's my travel. She's supposed to be my travel buddy, but she travels by herself. It is okay. Dr.
Next time.
Yes. So ladies, we've had this discussion. We've talked about different things we've had on myths. But I want to first just get down to how we first were introduced to what sex is and whether we had it from school, parents, friends, or were we watching things. Because I'll start with myself. Personally, the conversation about sex from my mother really did not happen because she just brought out this big pack of stay-free pads and said, these things you will need when you bleed. You will bleed and then you stay away from boys. And I was like,
Oh gosh.
what? So I didn't really know what that meant. So I heard a lot about it from schools. And if I was very honest with you guys, I thought that you have to pee on each other for babies to be made. I don't know.
You have never told us.
Of course, I've never told you that.
Differently about this whole conversation.
That was my thought, my first thought at standard 5. And who knows? I was in standard 5. No,
Standard 5?
And the discussion started happening in school. So that's how I thought of it initially.
Wow.
Now you tell me, Jane, who told you first?
I honestly can't even think when I ever heard about it. But for real, my mom didn't even talk about periods.
Eh?
My first pack of because those days there was no always. I think it was
Stay free. Yeah, it was stay free.
Stay free.
Yeah.
It was stay free. Yeah, those ones. Was reporting to Form 1 day 1. It was part of my shopping that my dad had done.
And you didn't know what it was even?
No, I had seen because in primary school there are people who were already I think me, I was such a late bloomer. No, those was work. I don't even think I owned a bra in high school.
When you were in secondary school, you didn't have your period.
So day one, I just bought
And put in the box.
But talking about 30 boys and everything, you're just told, don't play with boys.
Yeah, and I'm
you
like,
get pregnant.
and I'm
That's
like,
all.
and that's it.
That is the start and the end of sex education.
And I don't know, because I think for you, Wabi, things were a bit different.
Oh, very different. My dad was in population studies, so he was all about reproductive health and what happens in the population. My mom was very active in the church, talking to girls. So for us, it was a dining table conversation.
Wow.
There was nothing we wouldn't be able to discuss.
From how old?
From, I think, when we were teenagers, let's say, but remember, when I was in primary school, is when HIV/AIDS had hit this country.
Yeah.
The scourge,
Yeah.
So at that time, schools were forced to tell kids about HIV. So they would start by telling you your reproductive system and all that. So for us, it was an open conversation. In fact, I think that a lot of people were very shocked. They'd come home and these guys are talking about a story they had about, I don't know, somebody had an abortion. My dad would be very concerned about some of the places where he'd gone to do studies.
Yeah.
Like in Western Kenya, he'd come and say, in Western, people are just having babies and nobody seems to understand or want to listen to about contraception. So for me, it was
An open conversation.
An open conversation.
So you had all information from your parents.
And even by the time I went to high school, in our high school, we would have a session every year, I think in either second term or first term, where guys would come and talk about it. But I think the reason maybe for us it was such, the information was such an overload, I think was really at the time when people were panicking about HIV.
Yeah, so it made a big difference to the conversation.
So, they were like, okay, we have to tell people, we have to, people need to know. But the surprising thing is that it wasn't the same for a lot of people my age.
Yeah,
when I
absolutely.
They didn't know.
People
Were having. So in fact, I remember one time when I had my period, and I think I just got in my period, and my mom was not there. She had traveled. Yeah. So I told my dad, I didn't know whether to tell him that I need to go and look for sanitary pads.
Yeah.
He said, let's go. We drove around from Langata. The shops were closed. I think it was like around 10 p.m.
Yeah.
It took me such a long time to
tell him.
So we drove around, we went all the way to Madaraka. Those days, Madaraka used to have a shopping center which was open 24 hours because of the bar. And I've never forgotten that. He asked me, and do you know which type?
Wow.
Your dad.
Yes, my dad.
And this is in the 80s, guys.
And I have never forgotten that because I really did feel, really safe because, as you say, a lot of times people couldn't even talk about it. You remember how guys used to wrap their sweater around?
Yeah, because you messed up and you don't know.
You messed up and you didn't even know.
And so I would say that I was very fortunate.
Hey, you're lucky.
So, and then when I went to campus, I became a peer counselor, and the peer counselor's work in campus was to talk about reproductive health, because
you're so lucky.
At that time in KU we had the highest number of teenage pregnancies, I think, if not in the world, on the continent.
My goodness.
Wow.
So
Tindi, was it like that for you?
My mother was very kinagobaga. She came out guns blazing. I see you got titties and you need to have this talk. But she did not talk with me, she talked at you. So I was, I think we were in shags, and most of my cousins around me who are close to my age are boys. Most of them are boys from my mom's side. So we're in shags and we're swimming, and then my grandmother is like,
I see those things.
Those things are coming to pop out. So get out of the pool. Then she started talking. But she did not, it was, do you know you have, what are these? No.
How do I even answer that? What do you mean? Do I know?
I knew they were breast and they were going to grow. But she was a nurse. So I think most people who have their mothers as nurses, they will come out guns blazing, they will not hide anything.
Yeah.
But what she said was, it's evil, it's bad, you're dirty. Yes. It's a dirty thing to do. Yes. That's what I heard about. And boys are bad.
Yeah.
Do not go near boys. So in school, you remember playing fleas?
Yes.
So this is the guy's desk. Yeah. You move. Take it over there. And I mean,
I'm gonna die.
Yes, touch it. Just touch it. I don't know what I'm gonna get. So it was not a conversation where we had. So if I had any questions, there is no no way I was going to ask her.
Yeah.
Because she already put the fear
Of God in you.
You could not talk about this. I've told you, do not have sex. It's this. This is how babies are made. Now you have your period. You can get pregnant. When I got my period, she came and told me. I was afraid to tell her.
Yeah.
She came and told me here, part is how you use them. She was not there. She explained very well.
Yeah.
So, like you, I found it very easy to tell other girls in school who get their period and tell me I've got my period and I'm the one giving them.
Yeah.
They're like, how do I tell my mom about it? For me, it was easy. And it's funny because the way she spoke to me and very open about it, the only thing I'm doing different now with teenagers, I'm talking with them, I'm not talking
At them.
Yes, because I'm like, it's not evil. So when I took campus, I was like, ooh, how does the Lord hold such measure for human beings? I told this thing is evil. You know, so when I went to college, it was, of course, high school, it was, I'm not doing this.
Yes, yes.
And the person I was afraid of, in terms of, you know, if I got pregnant, was my dad, not my mom.
Oh.
So in college, you know, you're like, I'm awake, I'm not at home.
I can try whatever I want.
But then I was more empowered than many other girls, though I really didn't know much about contraception, not because we studied in medicine.
Yeah.
But I knew to go to a gynecologist,
Yeah.
ask about contraception.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes, I knew about that.
Very
But that's in
few
college.
people.
That was in
very
very,
few
very few
college
people, because
would.
in college many of people I knew were getting pregnant,
Yeah.
or you know whatever they were doing, you know,
Mm.
and so I knew I did not want to get pregnant. So now I wouldn't talk. If I had a daughter, I would not talk at her and
Talk
scare
to
the
her.
bejesus out of her and look at boys as y'all pure evil.
Yeah.
You'll knock me up.
Yeah. But
you know?
I think it's a cow parent thing because our cow parent, what?
No, but even my mom was like, hey, now.
But you know,
to
you
the
do
point of don't
realize
even
all parents
touch
were like that.
Let me tell you.
Of anti-abstinence, it is, you have to instill the fear of.
Yeah.
It was fear.
Let me tell you guys, because you've talked about getting your period. When I got my period and I was afraid, first it was Christmas Day. And we imagine it was
my God.
Christmas. I'll never forget. It was Christmas Day. I was 13, and then we had you know, those family get-togethers, and then there are those boys who you're thinking, hey, this guy is not bad. Then I'm like, what is this? What is this? So now I'm thinking, this party, I'm seeing my mom is having a good time. How am I going to interrupt her to tell her this thing? So I did not tell her. I tried to use a pad. I didn't know how. And then eventually now, she had given me in that talk. Talked at me.
That 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was a 5-second conversation where you're like, what did she just say? So I went and I tried to use it the best way I know how. And then in the evening now I'm like, I have to tell her now. And everybody has decided no one's going home, we're having sleepover, so the boys and girls, everyone, their rooms in. So it's more pressure. So I'm like, I have to tell her. Do you know, she said, you are lying. There's
serious?
nothing like that. Show me. I'm like, what?
Are you for real?
Yeah.
Why did she believe you?
Because I was 13. She got her period when she was 17. So in her mind, you're too young.
That generation got their periods later because my mom got at 18.
So she was like, if for her, it was more of her own fear that how can you, and I've just agreed to this house full of boys and girls in my, what? So she went and shut down and she said, no way, you're lying, you can't. And you know how it is when you start your first one, it can come for 2 days and then disappear. It disappeared and then she said I was lying. Now, what did that do to me? I decided I will never, ever have this conversation again.
my God.
And so then I had to deal with this on my own. And if I don't have pocket money to buy pads, I'm using tissue.
Wow.
I used tissue for a while before I told her.
You know what I mean?
It sticks.
It's horrible.
It's horrible, and you feel it. Yeah.
And then, of course, you're not going to be smelling nice. I mean, you know, so it was a tough, long time before I could even find a cousin to tell, because I thought then I was doing something wrong by bleeding.
Or there's something.
Or there's something wrong with me for this situation happening. So you can imagine, do I want to talk about sex education with her? No. Do you think she's going to talk to me about go to a gyna? No. So I was never told you should go. I was never told you should take care of yourself. Like, I did not have that information at all.
Even hygiene. I remember my mom went and bought white panties and told me to, if I ever see you with a black one. So it was almost
you
a threat
serious?
to, I want them
Clean,
and
clean,
I want
clean.
to see how clean you keep them.
Oh, okay.
And I remember one time playing with boys, and that time I think I had a pad which was not stick on.
Yeah.
We were playing outside, and
They never used to
stick
they
though.
used to stick. So the thing actually fell.
Oh my God.
And I remember because I did have some kind of thick skin, and I just looked at it. And that's not in South B. Queensview Estate. Thank God you guys moved up. I have no idea. But
What if you meet him again now?
Maybe he'll watch and just say, oh, shit.
yeah. No idea where it
Then he turns around and tells guys, let me tell you a story.
But I was so numb, I couldn't pick it up. So I went home, but that dude,
I'm so sorry. Were you
my God.
traumatized?
She blocked it. This one blocked it. You sound like you blocked it. Yeah, I know, right?
I was like, and I mean, he came, but I don't know where he put it. Mom took it, and
Mom.
yeah,
She was
brought it to
home.
our house.
She was at home.
Lost and found.
Guy
And
Jehovah.
it fell off. You know, baggy parties, let me tell you. And
They were always baggy because of Katis. Like this. Say, and
you're there,
you
probably
at least you as your panty fell. Me, my panty fell.
What?
Yeah, Kati.
Your panty fell, Jane.
Okay, do you know I was a tomboy in my life? I could go without it. Hey, if it was not for Kati, probably I wouldn't have worn.
your parents.
I told you I was a late bloomer. I was a late bloomer. Even at titties. Where?
You had
Even
nothing.
at Brian High School. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Those are so many years ago. What?
The panty fell. And then you picked it up and moved
So you
on.
just sit down, like, you know, nothing has happened.
Yeah,
and
you
that's
block
got
it.
nothing to do with sex education.
Anyway, let's just get back to it. Yeah, but let me ask you guys, especially because now we're talking about how parents are involved in this communication. You guys are parents and you have teens in your home and you have a young adult. When did you say it's time to have this conversation? And I know there are boys, yes, but everybody needs to have a conversation. Was it you or was it your husbands who had the conversation? Who had the conversation, Jane?
First time.
Yeah.
First time, when's the first conversation?
I think we had it together. But after that, I was like, "Ooh, you're going to be holding these conversations." But I told the kids, let me tell you, you want to know about girls? You ask your mother.
Yeah.
Because I said, but your mom. I said, I am the first girl you know.
Yeah.
And there's nothing any girl is going to tell you that I've not been through. You want to know about girls?
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
So luckily,
They came.
yes.
Yeah. So that's good. And Wabi, I don't know
I
how
think
you
the first
handle it.
conversation I had was maybe when my boys were like 3 or 4 to talk about.
Wow.
To talk about not in that way.
Yeah, no, but just telling them about their body or what?
Telling them about nobody can touch you
Yes,
here.
okay.
And you know and all that.
Yeah.
And having conversations about how they interact with other people. Because I think it's our this life is so different from ours. Here you have people are molesting children all over the place. If
Yeah.
it's not your in your home, it is it could even be
And
happening
by
in
someone
school
they-
and
usually they know
someone
for
they
kids,
know.
yeah.
So my first conversation with them was about their private parts. Obviously, first being able to nobody should touch you.
Yeah.
And I find that with that really helped because then a child begins to see this is my private part.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone.
Everybody, yeah.
And then when they were a little bit older, about who hugging, how people always want to hug kids and everything. And I was like, if you don't know somebody, don't feel bad.
You don't have
that
to.
you don't have to hug them. And for a lot of us, people, when they meet children, that's, the first instinct. But unfortunately, in this society, we have good and bad people.
Yeah.
You can't decide that. Then, obviously, now when they were maybe around, I remember distinctly in my son's, because they were in the same primary school at the beginning. I remember one time they had an incident in the children's toilet.
Okay.
And I think, the way kids are in the loo, and then somebody opened the door very quickly and was laughing. You know how kids can
you
be,
slammed open.
Yes.
For boys and girls.
I think it was a boy who had gone into the girls' bathroom.
Oh, wow.
So of course there was all this hula baloo.
Yeah.
Obviously the child perhaps was doing it as a game. I think sometimes children
They play.
Yeah, they play. So obviously it's play that was not handled very well. So then at that point, we then now began to talk about privacy. And then luckily, in every child's school curriculum, they talk about the body. So people forget, even as people are fighting sex education.
Yes.
In school,
There was a topic.
there's
Yeah.
a topic
Yeah.
in science
Yeah.
about the body. So
Yeah.
they talk about parts and everything.
Right.
And it's interesting. My two children are very different. One is very open about these conversations. The other one is he's very shy. So the one thing that I find now as they have grown older is now we're having conversations in bits and pieces. Because they've both been circumcised, there's that part of their life where that conversation is had. Then now I'm having conversations about, because they have incidences. Like the other day, you find maybe your child has seen, the way kids will take photos that are shared.
Yeah.
There's a lot of curiosity that happens with children.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes instead of demonizing it, people need to understand that kids are curious. So if they see something, and especially kids who are allowed to be on social media, there's a lot of information that kids will share that they won't tell their mother.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think also as a parent is you go through the phases where an incident happens, and then it's a moment, it's a teaching moment.
Exactly.
So you go back and you say
go
this.
back to the.
So the one thing I'm always constantly telling them is respect. So the other day I had a conversation with my son. I was telling him when girls have their period, because now he's at an age where his classmates are having periods. I said, she may look not so happy today. And uncomfortable, and I'm telling you may not see anything, but I think understand.
Yeah.
Be very sensitive
When
to
she
that.
changes her
When
temperament.
she changes,
Yeah.
or you see girls in your class, and you see, you need to understand that there are things happening to them that are different. And then of course there's that whole thing now with my older son, it's addressing the realities, because now he is an
adult. Yeah.
So and I'm always telling them, just like you, I told them, there is nothing that you will experience or have a question about that I will not have experienced.
Yeah.
So we talk about the way girls, the things girls go through. Because me, I was very small in high school. So I was always being made fun of. I was short. Guys used to come and say, has the school opened a kindergarten?
Oh my God.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm short.
Tiny people associated.
Till college.
Kai.
Till college.
Small, tiny. Then I had a butt. So here is a small girl.
But then behind comes her booty.
You go.
It wasn't called that.
Thank God I was straight.
It was the Kiswahili
I didn't have those things. Yeah, that's straight.
Yeah, the
Bila boobs, bila butt.
So I had the same problem.
Yes, so you're small.
Yeah, you're short, small, and then boom.
Yes.
So so now it's conversations with them about
Respect.
body parts, about people are different.
Yeah.
And then recently, and made my friend really laugh. I was telling, we were having a conversation. In fact, it was in your house. One of your cousins, I think. Is it your cousin or anyway? And she was saying how she was and I found it amazing. She was having a conversation with her teenage son, and she was telling him about when a girl sits on your lap.
Oh, wow.
I think that was in my house.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was in your house.
Yeah.
And I've never forgotten because she said those are now some of the conversations people need to have with their children.
Yes.
And I keep telling mothers of girls, the same conversations you're having with your girls about, that boy, those are the same conversations I'm having with my son.
Oh, yeah. That girl.
In our time,
Yeah.
if I ask my brothers,
Yeah.
there's no conversation
They were never told
my
anything.
mother or my father
Yeah.
ever with them about sex.
Yeah.
It was me.
Yeah.
And same to my aunties,
Yeah.
same to my uncle. So, and even some of my aunties just came and told their daughters, she got a period. Mama Tindi handled it.
Really?
They could not talk to their daughters.
Wow.
Even now I'm getting patients who come and tell me, Tindi, let me bring my daughters to you to come and talk to them. And I'm like, what have you told them?
You as a parent.
Yes.
I'm not their parent.
Yeah, because
I said, you need to start.
The relationship has to be with the
A
parent.
lot of my teenage patients I've had or clients I've had, many, their mothers have not had this conversation.
Oh.
And they do not know where
missed
to start.
opportunity.
So you see why I'm finding that strange, guys.
It's a majority.
It's not.
I'm worried because you'd think that these guys who are our age group went through that thing of your mom not telling you, and you're like, I'll never do that to my child. Personally, I'll never do that to my child. I want to make sure that she's informed and.
It is still taboo. You see, the reason why, even on social media, when people go and post all these crazy nonsense about the things they are doing, people don't call them out. They know that this is wrong, or they know that that is incorrect, or it's false, or that is dangerous. People who are knowledgeable, who know exactly what should be happening, or who know the truth, in social media, sex is even a joke. People are laughing at all these things, and I think because we are at the stage where there's an information overload.
Yeah.
the people now who are obviously now my children and older that is their encyclopedia. That's their Wikipedia.
That's where they get all the information off social media.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the parent, I think people are operating like an ostrich with their head buried in the sand.
Yeah.
You pray that somehow my child this information is going to be packed
For them in a way that they can understand.
that they can understand it. But I think people forget that information is powerful.
Yeah.
And especially even with sex.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was telling you that one of the questions we were asking ourselves is, what would we tell our 20-year-old self?
And we will be answering that later, yes.
And one of the things that my friends keep saying is that it is really, really scary to have a conversation about sex, about sexuality with their children.
Do they feel as if when they have that conversation, and they're giving her a go ahead?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, which is again the argument.
About it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because even was one time I think there was a bill in Parliament
Yeah.
about
Yes.
really expanding the discussion on
Sex education,
health,
yeah.
and parents went
very
rogue. Like you're not going to teach us our kids.
It became
this.
condoms.
Yeah, they said that you're empowering them now.
You should.
And you're not doing it.
I thought so too.
A teacher can be trained to talk about it. The parent doesn't want to do it at home. The teacher has been stopped from talking about
Who's going to do it?
As you're saying.
Who's going to do it?
Next place.
Man, it's so interesting the kind of conversations that we've been able to have, from threats and fears of getting into sex, what our parents told us, who was teaching us about these things, and also just thinking about the different misinformation that people have. Is this something that people now go to learn from bridal showers? What kind of things have you seen there? Because I've heard of some crazy things. Yeah, some people shooting to the sky. You want to find out what that's about, man, because this is the show where we give you a good story that will give you a chance to change your perspective about different things. It's about sex, misconceptions, and our reproductive health, and I like to call it utajua ujui. You think you know, you don't know, and that's why you have to wait for our next segment of this amazing show. We are at the Highland Suites. A big thank you to them for hosting us. We will be back. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next segment of this amazing series with my tribe, because that's what we're going to do. Make sure that you are there.